Hello, hello. Another day, another show. We have an amazing episode ahead of you today. But before we move forward, we got to ask you, make sure that you share this broadcast. We are premiering our special guest who I have been excited to and in anticipation to have on the show for quite some time. Hopefully, we'll be able to do some more things with her and you'll be able to see her face a whole lot more. But let me not get ahead of myself. You know how excitement happens. You get ahead of yourself and then you start telling all the business and everything. So let me not get ahead of myself. My name is Kimberly Winbourne. I'm the founder of Coffee and Collaborations Media and the host of the F.A.N, the Ultimate Fan Club podcast, which was formerly just the Coffee and Collaborations podcast. Coffee and Collaborations has had an evolution. We launched April 2018, so we'll be celebrating 3 years next month. I'm excited. I'm so excited, and you guys have to stay plugged in because we're going to have some amazing things to share with you for April. Number one, we are, of course, celebrating 3 years. Number two, we are celebrating the 1 year anniversary of our TV show, Love and Flow TV. And then number three, we have a surprise coming by way of the launch of our magazine. So stay plugged in. There's going to be so much excitement in April. But this is Women's History Month. And I have been having on dynamic, powerful boss ladies who I admire, who inspire me, who mentor me, even if it's from a distance, and who also serve beyond capacity sometimes to others in the community. And today's guest is no different. She is an amazing woman who I'm so excited to also, as I told you before, this is about the Friends Accountability Network. That's what F.A.N is an acronym for. So I am so excited to call her friend. So welcome, Lisa Greene of Marketing with a Twist. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Kimberly. How you doing today?
I am excellent. How are you?
I am well. I'm well. Very excited to be on your show.
I'm excited to have you, and you look great. I love your backdrop, everything that you have behind you. You look wonderful.
Well, thank you. I try to stand out because, as you know, we're marketing with a twist, how to network to build your network.
That's right. I love that. And so, yeah, let's dive right on in because Lisa is somebody who I've had the opportunity in the past maybe 2 to 3 years to really work closely with, whether it was with my organization or us partnering and working with other organizations. And her company is called Marketing with a Twist. So how did you, and but listen, y'all, her title is Head Twister.
Yeah.
Head Twister. So how did you come up with the name Marketing with a Twist? Tell us a little bit about the inspiration there.
This version, as I say, tell your story. It is
Mm-hmm.
a story, quite indeed. I came about with working for Zaxby's. I think that's when we met. Or
Yeah.
for Zaxby's, the area marketing director. And Zaxby allowed me to use their company as a playground for me. They
Mm-hmm.
said, got to make room for your gifts. It was
Yeah.
he just put me in a playground of community relations and stuff. And Zaxby's needed to raise their accountability and their visibility within the community. So they brought me on and they allowed me. I tell people they allowed me. They said, Lisa, it was you. I said, no, they allowed me because, I like to say there's no I in team,
That's
Kimberly.
right.
It's E for effort for everybody. It's about, even though it's about me and we, it's E and me and we. It took the efforts of our naysayers and I supported it. Say one said no, the other said go. And that's what made you go. So you never do it by yourself. But getting back how we got here was actually allowed me to come over there. I left my community, my mechanical engineer field at Flowserve. Yes, I have a techno side and I have a man-made side, God side. So that's what
Love
happened.
it.
And the God side came out of me. They allowed me to go out there and give them visibility. And that's how I would say Zaxby's marketing with a twist, or network
Yeah.
to build your network.
Yeah.
I used to say stepping outside your comfort zone, but I just since changed and said expand your mindset.
I love
And
that.
so, went from there. And Jackson's, I had in this group, it was 15 stores.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 7 of those stores, ranging from Rocky Mount all the way up to Durham and back over to Wake Forest and over to Garner.
Yeah.
So they went from $1 million, get this now, $1 million to $4 million in 3 years.
That is crazy.
by leveraging the playing field. And that's where it came to be. God showed me, hey, Lisa, even though marketing is a big bucket, he
Mm-hmm.
said, I need you to build the bridges. And I
Yeah,
said, build, bridge, brand, and closing the deal while sustaining a successful relationship. And
that's
so
right.
that's where marketing with a twist came from. Did not know that God was using that as a platform to push me out. I left Zaxby's on September 11th at
Mm.
10:30 a.m. 2019.
Know the time, the date. Well, you probably know. You probably time stamped it. You know all the details behind it. So I love that. And one of the things that you just talked about was relationship building.
Yeah.
And when it comes to marketing with the twist, I know that you do a lot of community activities, giving back, and relationship building is a humongous component of that. So when people are, a lot of people are afraid to put themselves out there. They don't know how to build relationships. So can you speak to us as an expert in that area about the value of building relationships?
And it's all about building and leveraging it. So
Yeah.
people say, my clients come to me and, do I do all things marketing? I can, but I'm not afraid to outsource that to other colleagues because at the end of the day, they can't take your gift. Outsource it to other marketing people, marketing colleagues, or in your same field. Because like I
Yeah.
said, people, yeah, I need
Collaboration.
the collaboration. I need you to show up in your market and just not attend. And what I mean by that blending in, you need to do something that make you show up and say, hey, what about me? And
Mm-hmm.
what I mean, and when I say going out, you say collaboration and build a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that. You have to reach out and say, hey, let's partner up. Just like I think you're alluding to my other side, stop hunger one community at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I use that as a building thing for my clients. I said, well, as a perk, I'm going to give you a food distribution. Like, what do I want with that? I said, let me show you how to kill five birds mentally with one stone and build relationships.
Yeah.
Okay. So the food distribution show that you're giving back
Yes.
on accountability. If you're a nonprofit or you need to get accolade to your higher up,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to give you the data, how many people you serve, how many cards, and a pound of your food. That's three. Then also you're going to build that relationship by getting what I call a rat card. This is one of
Mm-hmm.
my signature pieces. It's got me on the front. It's got my services on the back. So here's a chance you can do marketing. Or if you're outreach or like for Love Flow, you want to tell about Love Flow. Now you're a minute. Guess what? You're going to hit everybody in that line. It's about 800 people or whatnot you're going to serve. But building and collaboration is a great thing because you got to build a network. If there's somebody's going to help you, you pull them for it. Guess what? When they go past you, they're going to pull you for it. So it's paying it forward. And then it
Absolutely.
is so important to maintain that. And and like to unlike-minded person. People say, what do you mean by the unlike-minded person? Somebody you never thought that you could build collaboration with. Who would, going back to my Zaxby's days, who would have never known we were the first restaurant in the Universal Soul Circus? The
Wow.
yes, I took LZ and out there, and we were just rocking it and doing our thing, and and reaching people. So that's somebody you never thought we would. We learned how to like that unlike-minded business. And also, we was the first in women's empowerment, the first restaurant in women's empowerment, which landed
Wow.
me on to the stage a rod, women in the rod, just like women in the rod. So there again, so collaboration will get you there in relationship. And you got to learn how when you close that deal, sustain that relationship, even though you got what you needed from them, but still call back and say, hey, how you doing? Because you know what? Referrals gonna get you everything. Gonna say, you know what, they work with me. That's relationship building. You gotta treat that
Absolutely.
with a kid glove.
Absolutely. And I love how that's an evolution. So, like, one thing led to another. You just out here serving, giving, doing, giving people ideas, helping people to look beyond where they can actually see for themselves, where they can envision, and helping them to see it with a twist. And then as a result, that provided you opportunities because people see the value in that. And they say that people who have ideas are very few and far between. People who have really great ideas are very few and far between. So it's a special gift that you have and that you're able to use. And collaboration, one of the things that I really love about the Stop Hunger One Community at a Time is that many groups are able to come together as well, and so that gives them an opportunity to build new
Yeah.
relationships that they maybe never would have had the opportunity to do, and could foster new business relationships as well. I think recently you did one where there were 20 different organizations working together. Is
Yes,
that
that was
correct?
standing in the gap with boots on the ground. And what that was when we
Yeah.
bought the organization, God woke me up one night and said, Lisa, one of my partners presented me with a little meal to give to the homeless. And I said, Lord, how am I do that? He woke me up at 2:30 in the morning. He liked that 2:30 in the morning call for me. And he said, Lisa, call these organizations together. And at the same time, you're going to teach them how to leverage the playing field, how to give back, do their community service, because they were staying dormant. You can't stay dormant in this time in COVID.
Actually,
You cannot
yes,
stay dormant because what's going to
absolutely.
happen to, wow, I'm trying to stay safe too, but God's going to give you the vision. He's going to give you the provision, and he's going to give, ways for you to stay safe by serving his people. Because what's going to happen is, Kim, is when Corona goes back in her closet, I said, Corona goes back in her closet.
Go
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
Corona.
Rona walked in the room, as they say, men all pause when the woman walk in the room. She made everybody all
Yes,
pause. So,
yes. She was a
yes,
brick
you were. Oh,
house.
that's a good one. But nevertheless, when what the people are going to say, the community going to say, when you want them to come to your business, say, how did you stay relevant? How did you help my brother and my sister while we was going through this tragedy? You can say, well, I did this, whether you gave monetary or in kind or did something for them. Guess what? That's going to drive footprint back into you.
Absolutely.
So that's where we did standing in the gap. We had 20 organizations going out. We hit the whole Wake County, Kim, and part of Bailey, Edgecombe County, Nash County.
That's
So we
awesome.
had 20, and they would, and also time for them. I told them, here's a chance to leverage your playing field to get more people to talk to.
Yeah.
I'm giving away, so I need you to walk down the path and get more. And a lot of people was able to collaborate with other organizations that they was knocking on the door. They couldn't get in. So here it is. Somebody unlocked the door and let them in. So that's happening out there. And
Yeah.
we're afraid to walk through it. We need to walk through it.
Walk on through it. And one of the things that I truly love, and I have been or was sharing at the beginning of the pandemic, is that even through any tumultuous time, any challenges, anything, you still want to have a heart to give. Like, you still want to be giving. And so that's what you were doing. You were still giving, and you were still helping people to have the mindset to be a giver, to be a servant. And then so as a result, people were seeing you everywhere. You made your footprint
Yeah.
by just doing the thing that you love doing, which is serving, community building, and building relationships and inspiring others. And you spoke to the coronavirus and pivoting. What's the biggest pivot that you experienced during this last 2020 to 2021, during this last year? What's your biggest pivot?
My mindset, leaving Zaxby's in 2019, mind you, I left in September. Corona came in March of 2020. And I was thinking, okay, Lord, you got me out here. I'm ready to do marketing with Twitch. I'm trying to help people leverage a playing field. I'm trying to help them drive footprint back to their business to grow. The things that you instilled in me. And here come Corona coming in. And then the food bank reached out to me and different sources said, hey, Lisa, can you stand in the gap for us? Like, stand in the gap? I got to stand in the gap for myself. What do you mean? So, I was able to say, okay. And I said, Lord, you got to send me some people. Within 7 days, Kim, I had 7 people team. Didn't ask for them. So I had to learn how, I'm a giving person. So I had to learn how to receive. So that was my biggest pivot point to, okay, that learning how to receive it,
That's
or
good.
whatever, Lord, you told me to give. And it's hard for us givers to receive.
Yeah.
So that was my
Yeah.
biggest pivot point and staying strong and being that, I guess, that example, how to stay relevant. And I was like, okay, Lord, you're
Mm-hmm.
using me to be a relevant, to teach people how
Mm-hmm.
to stay relevant.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
yeah, so that was my
well,
biggest pivot point and not knowing that, blessing others at the same time. Because I always thought it was normal to bless people. People like, Lisa, you just don't know how much you're doing. I'm like, you should be doing the same
yeah.
thing. But yeah, that was my biggest pivot point, to pivot to help others, which is not a problem, but to also learn how to receive.
How to receive and mindset. And one of the things that a lot of people kind of shy away from collaboration, working with others, or even serving beyond a specific boundary is because of the fact that they feel like people use them,
Yes.
or people just want to work with them because of their name or because of their associations, and then they leave them. So what's something that you could share with someone, because you continue to serve and do and all of that in spite of, and that's one of the things that I think is valuable information. What is something that you can share with those who are listening about that? Like, not being so concerned about that, but also being able to weed out those people who are just there to take advantage. What's your
And
outlook on
that's
that?
one of the questions, Kim. I'm funny that you asked that. That's one of the questions I ask my clients and the people, you know, how do you're the person that everybody's trying to get at. How do you I guess intercede the real from the fake? And I was like, one of my, and I said, you can turn them into a real person. You should sit back and watch what they're doing. And all they're trying to figure out,
Yeah.
well, how they want to see what you're doing and get what you're going to, they had a hidden agenda. But if you keep working with them and doing things, guess what? You're going to turn them into a like-minded person. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, for instance, if I was coming to you for some business or you were coming in, you
Mm-hmm.
already scoped me out. You already looked at me, you already Googled me, you already LinkedIn me. My thing is to find out what you need. You can say, well, you know what? Like when I was with Zaxby's, they say, oh, she just want catering. Okay, I want catering. I said, okay, well, since you know about me, let me hear something about you. So you start, going off, say, hey, I do Love and Flow, I do the Praying CEOs, and I just said, well, how do you
Mm-hmm.
think them, Kim? I'm Zaxby, just put me in Zaxby. How do you think them, Kim? Oh, did you have an event coming up that
Mm-hmm.
you need some? How you thanking your people for coming to your event? So you're like, okay, well, she's
Right.
trying to sell me
Yeah.
catering. No, I'm not. Watch this. I went in there and said, well, let me take the X out of excuse, the X out of expense, and put the I in the synergies for you. He's like, okay, how's she gonna do this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how are you thanking your people for coming to your event, Kim? You're gonna say, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I said, well, let me give a thank you card. You said, thank you card? Yes. Let me do a co-branded card. And I called it a co-branded card, something like my rack card, but it's smaller. I can say, thank you for coming to
Yes.
Love and Flow or the Praying CEO virtual or lunch and put your stuff on the back. And now this is your thank you card. On the back, I'm gonna put my stuff. I'm gonna pay for the expense of it,
Mm-hmm.
pennies on the dollar, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a value to you, maybe $2,000.
Yeah.
Well, I just took that off your
Yeah.
table and put it on my plate, took the expense
Mm-hmm.
off your table, took the excuse of you not saying thank you, and put the I in the sentence and took all that cost from you. So this is how you can tell those are real or fake, turn them into a real person. They may be fake when you start out,
Mm-hmm.
but, but they'll be real when you finish with them. And you got to learn how to do that instead of pushing them off. Because as they say, and I hate to be
Yeah.
blatant about it, they say all money is great. So, so you have to get that mindset if you servicing them and treat them like and just go into them as a solution, not a treatment.
I love that. I love that because you're right. So many people just cut and move, walking a whole bunch of hurt and stuff. But you just reframed it, turn that fake person
Mhm.
into a real person by being
Yes.
you, doing you, continuing to, and that's one of the things though. We got to know ourselves. And so what is that? What was that like for you? The journey to understanding who you were and who, in order to not be hurt by all the different people that may try to use you or pull on you or just different things like
It
that.
was a journey, Kim. I said, Dad, they just calling me to get what I got. I had to learn that, God gave it to
Mm-hmm.
me. It's not mine. I had to share it because you know what? If I share with
Yeah.
them, even though they came in that mind with a spiteful intent or just that, say,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what she's doing and whatnot. Let me teach you. Let me teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. And they used to you running away or talking all that slang. If you flip it the nice on them, they ain't got no choice but to like. You ain't got, just
No
go ahead and
choice.
do it. And I never say, I said, you don't have to go home with them or whatever. You just have to do business with me. And then you
Yeah.
show them. And then
Yeah.
you know what? If you teach them that, they're gonna teach the next person, pull them for like, I remember she wouldn't take nobody, hey, mindset is a game changer for you. I had to
Exactly.
learn. I had to learn that, you know.
Yeah. One of the things that I love about your presentation right now today is that you're marketing yourself even in your presentation. And I think a lot of times this is virtual life now. We're on
Yeah.
Zoom or WebEx or whatever all the time, right? We're in front of these screens all day, every day. And so a lot of people you see just jump on and you see a whole bunch of books in the background just thrown everywhere, disarray, all of that, and they're doing presentations. And so can you speak to people about the not even just virtual, but even physically when we get back out there, how we should show up? What's a tip that you give around how you make your presence memorable? Because I know that's one of the things you mentioned, you kind of touched on and alluded to earlier. Make sure that what's you're saying? Make sure
You
that
show up
you
not in
show
10.
Yes, show up and not attend. So explain the significance of that in a virtual space and a physical space.
Okay, first of all, it's your mindset again. When you wake up in the morning, get your mindset, get your coffee like you're drinking right now, whatever you need, your favorite drink. Just go in your meditation, get your mindset, because the way you come out or the way you dress, and I tell kids when I used to be in the school system with Zach and different things, the way you come out is the way people can perceive you for that day. I mean, you
Yeah.
can put on that face and put do a facade if you like. That's going to help you, people perceive you. And I mean, and in the virtual world, like I said, take that background of the books and stuff out. Put something like the floor stand or something behind you so that because somebody can come on and we're talking there. They don't know who I am, but they see my marketing with a twist. Oh, that's Lisa Greene from Marketing with a Twist. Or that's Kimberly from Flow correct.
Love and Flow.
Love and Flow.
Coffee and Collaborations Media.
Yes, and collaboration media and all the different avenues that you have because you do have different platforms. So you need to make sure there's something behind you that says who you are. But then I'm not assuming say she would love photo or she with the podcast or different things.
Exactly.
So you need to have that behind you. So that's why I mean being showing up. And also I don't have my name tag. But go back to the old days and get your name tag. So when you walk in the building, here she comes. Don't assume that they know who you are at that present time and moment. But you got many platforms, many businesses that you have, they know who you're representing that day.
Yeah.
So that's how you're going to show up and not attend. I can figure out ways that you can interact with other people. Like I said, when you go to talk to them at a vendor booth, at a venue or whatnot, you can say, hey, listen to what what they have to say, and insert yourself in their life. That's a way to show up and not attend. But they already, like I said in the previous conversation, have you scoped out?
That's right.
So you just have to figure out the ways to show up and have your little rat card, not a business card, because this is going to get the business card will give you your name or whatever. But this is going to give them more visual of who you are. And this is going to force them to go say, you know how we all, like my mother said, we all knows at some kind of point. We all know. So we're going to go back and say, okay, I'm going on her website and see what she got going on.
Right. Yeah.
She's much entertaining as her website as, on paper.
Yeah.
So also, and also to get off the subject a little bit, you're building your business resume at the same time, doing all that. So you shooting 5 birds. I always try to shoot 4 or 5 birds with one stone and one event.
I always try to shoot 4 or 5 birds with one stone at one event.
Yeah,
I love that.
The playing field. And Kim, I hate to walk in a vendor place and there's somebody booth looking crazy.
I know you do.
Woo!
I know you do. She will quickly rearrange your booth or go and make some suggestions. Well, have you thought about, maybe you can move this over here or, hey, I got some mints. She always has something that she can pull out of her bag of magic tricks to help you out just a little bit. If she's a part of the expo or the event as well, she gonna work it out for you. And so one of the things, with technology, a lot of people say don't do the physical business card, and you're talking about doing the business card and the rat card. And one of the things I want to point out in that is that people need to do cover all bases. So you need to have the physical, you need to be able to stand out, but then also the digital. So on your rat card, you can put a QR code, you can put, all these sort of things. Right. And even in the other thing you were talking about where the thank you, it could be a QR code or something. So I love how you merge newer technology also and then make reparations or room for some of the, just covering all bases. Did you want to speak to that at all?
Covering all bases. Yeah. Use the QR code, use your digital as, when you're doing Zoom, get your virtual background made with your logo on it. If you don't have the luxury of having a hard copy or something, get your logo on behind you on your website behind you, because again, you can't always assume somebody know who you are. So take advantage, again, leverage all playing field, do your homework, do your research. If you don't know, don't be afraid to ask somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ask somebody, because you know what? Your knowledge may help them and your vice versa. Again, you're leveraging the playing field. You got to show up these days and not attend, because so many of us emerge. COVID has made us emerge out of the private sector into your own business.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of entrepreneurs that was birthed during this time because they had to make ends meet.
That's right.
So then, you really need to show up.
Yeah.
in your
Yeah,
market. Just
absolutely.
leverage that. And don't be afraid to pull somebody with you. And don't be afraid to say, marketing, like I said, is a big field. Don't be afraid to say, that's not my niche. Give it to your next man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to them, but they got to live with it if they don't do it right and give you business back. Referral is it's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I love affiliate relationships, because everybody can win. Maybe
Yeah,
you get a percentage of every referral, or there's something with the relationship. Maybe you're working in partnership on this one client and splitting the invoice. So I love collaboration. As we kind of wrap up a little bit, what are some tips? You've given us so many nuggets and so many tips. Is there anything that really stands out that when you have the opportunity to speak to an audience, that you want them to go away with, like other than the ones that you've mentioned, that you would like to share? Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs that listen to this show that really say that they need marketing. When we do surveys all the time, that's the number one thing that people say that they need. And just like you mentioned, that's such a broad area. So in your area of expertise, can you give a couple of tips to share with people of something they can do right away in order to advance in their businesses?
always remember, I say the BBBC: build, brand, bridge, and closing a deal while sustaining a successful relationship. Keep that in mind. And when you're out there looking for a marketing person, figure out what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to say they all things marketing. Back up a little bit, because not to shoot down any of my marketing colleagues. Back up a little bit. Yeah, we have a team, so they may have a team, and I'm very transparent. Say, hey, I'm going to pass it off to another one of my team members or someone that can help you. But let me help. I know I can help you leverage the playing field and drive footprint back into your establishment or your nonprofit or whatnot. So just be mindful when you go out there, listen, and make sure they're going to be a solution to you and not a treatment. What I mean by that, help you solve your problem that you need right then. And not,
Mm-hmm.
if you're one of those clients that need a year-long contract, then by all means go for it. But if it's somebody can help you, look for that person who can be a solution and not a treatment to you. Then, because you know what, you're going to come back to them
Yeah.
again. So that's another thing. And just be minded, have an open mind when you
Mm-hmm.
go out there, because things are going to scare you. Because there's many times I wanted to throw in the towel. It's like, okay, Lord, what you got me in? And just go as you sometime on your prayer and shield, go in your meditation room and just build yourself up, and then come back and say, put your God proof breath on and let the bullets bounce off. And when I
Mm-hmm.
just be, hey, understanding that, and be reciprocal, be able to receive.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that come at, even though it's criticism, make it constructive. Take that negative, put it down in front of you, and step on it. Use it as a stepping stone so you can show up and not attend.
Right. Absolutely. Guys, all right, these some amazing tips. And for those of you who have said, I need a marketing team, I need marketing, she just broke down the fact that marketing is broad. And so you have to do some homework as to what it is that you exactly need so that you can find that right person. One of the things that I love is that she mentioned that she doesn't do everything. And so she has partners, marketing partners, that do other things that she may not do as well, or may not prefer to do, I'll say.
Yes.
And so understanding who you are, what you're capable of, what your zone of brilliance is, and thriving there is so crucial. And so that is a tip that I took from this time as well, that she shared, that I want to share with you. And that's just based on her story and her experience. But all of these nuggets of things that you can do, small things that you can do to stand out. I think if you don't get anything else, take that away, rewind, go back and listen, take that away, and then reach out. So right now you should see her information scrolling across the bottom. Make sure to write that down. It should be in the bio on YouTube as well as Podbean, where our show is found. So you should be able to reach out to her from any of those locations to get information to help you to move forward, because that's what this is all about. Me bringing my friends here to
Thank
talk
you.
about, yes, some of them are really my friends, right, my
Yes.
real friends, while
Yes.
others are my friends in business. And
Yes.
we just all have a heart to lead, a heart to serve, and a heart to help you to move to the next level. So that's the pivot for me with this show, with Coffee and Collaborations, we still talk about collaboration. We still talk about networking, but I had to bring in some business tips. What are some things that you can do today? I had to bring in my friends who are bosses, who are amazing leaders, to give you tips on what you can do today in various areas to win in your business and even in your personal life. So we're going to wrap up. Like I said, you should have written down the information that scrolled across the bottom, or check that out in the bio. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast or
Yes,
subscribe
do
to
that.
our YouTube channel. And then make sure, okay, so I'm gonna give y'all a little teeny hint as to what's coming up with Lisa. Okay, just a little teeny hint. And then I want you to come
You gonna
back.
tease them, huh,
I'm
Kim?
gonna
You gonna
tease
tease
you
them a
just a
little.
little bit, yeah. And I want you to come back, pay attention to what's happening here. So you got all those nuggets from her, right? Imagine getting those nuggets regularly, just like 5 minutes of power, 5 minutes of power tools that you can put into your business, right? What if she had
Yeah.
her? What if she had her own show? I mean, I don't know. So anyway, just a little tease as to what's ahead. I'm not giving anything away yet, but make sure you stay plugged in to Coffee and Collaborations Media and to the Ultimate Fan Club podcast, and we'll let you see it as it unfolds. Any last words, Lisa?
Just remember to pay it forward. Like she said, pay it forward. Like, share her page when she's on Facebook Live, her Prancios, her coffee collaboration. Help each other out. Just continue to pay it forward. I mean, just to give a little facts real quick, Kim,
Mm-hmm.
about Stop Hunger. We served over 86,000 families, over 24
That's
counties,
so good.
and one out of state, 5,700 plants and flowers given out,
Yeah.
different organizations. Don't be afraid to team up with people. Just remember, determination will get you to your destination. And if you ever need some tips, by all means, call me. Call Marketing with a Twist. Let us create a storm in your midst. It's going to be lucrative for you from A to Z.
Ooh, ooh.
We can, let us even create a storm or solve that storm. It's going to be lucrative
Absolutely.
by working together. And if you just want to call me and let me give you little things like take the I out of team, or take the X out of excuse, or something for your business, let me get something a little catchy for you. Let
Yeah.
me let me help you step out and broaden your mindset.
Absolutely. Oh, and invite her. Look, I'm acting as her agent. And invite her to come and speak to your organization and also provide these tips. If you have a bigger organization and you have a marketing department and you need to step it up. So I'm so grateful for this time together. We have to close out. Thank you once again, Lisa. Thank you to everyone who joined today. We look forward to seeing you next week on Coffee and Collaborations. I am Kimberly Winbourne, your host, or Coffee and Collaborations podcast, the Fan Club Network. I am Kimberly Winbourne, your host. Make sure to go out and be a light in all things that you do. Make sure that you shine, and not because you want to be a star, not because you want attention, but because you are allowing someone else who is waning and trying to figure out their value, walking in lack of confidence and self-esteem. And by looking at you, you're inspiring them to step out and be a light themselves. So you're paying it forward by walking in the things that you're supposed to do. Like I always say, it's all about coffee and collaborations. Now, you don't have to physically have the coffee, because the coffee represents building relationships. You have to absolutely build those relationships so that you can win. See you next week, 8 o'clock on Coffee and Collaborations Media presents the Ultimate Fan Club podcast.